Hi, good morning, and welcome to this FoodSense webinar. So we do this webinar once a week, and it's really about providing support and giving training around our FoodSense Generation 4. My apologies if the sound quality is not quite as good as it normally is. I'm out traveling this week, so I'm doing this from hotel. But that said, I'm talking about FoodSense Generation 4, which as of today is configured to measure the hotness of chilies, the pungency of ginger, and also does total antioxidative capacity or TAC. So today I'm actually going to be talking about, as part of our sort of support of the technology, we do support clients around the world in the testing of chilies and ginger. So for example, here I've got a couple of samples that we'll be dealing with today. A Teja Chilli, Teja, and also a Green Chilli Powder as well. So both of these have been tested on FoodSense. They've been tested on FoodSense remote from myself. But I'll talk about how I'm able to support them because they're on what's called the FoodSense Generation 4. If you want to see a live demo of this, don't worry about the fact that it says 28th of February. We do have a webinar near the end of every month. The next one's on the 27th of March. I'll put this link underneath the video. If you click on it, then it will definitely take you to a registration page. And we have two webinars, one in the morning, one in the afternoon. They are repeats, but we want to give people a live experience of the technology. So choose the one that makes the most sense to your time zone. The technology, as I say, is, well, I haven't said it, but it's actually for rapid testing. So, for example, if people want to know how much capsaicin is in a chili sample, today they have to kind of make it, well, they take a sample, they put it in a little bag, they send it off to the HPLC, high pressure or high performance liquid chromatography shop or lab. They do a test, they may get a certificate of analysis back a couple of days later. Now with this, we have FoodSense Generation 4, these little sensors. These little sensors work with our meter. So these sensors just click in and out. We have a app. Oh, I haven't got the QR codes in this webinar today, but come to the webinar on the 27th of March, and you'll see where to get the app from. The app is on your smart device. The app drives the meter. The sensor works with the meter. The sample goes on the sensor. The meter talks to the app on the smart device using Bluetooth, and we then make a measurement. And I'll talk about that measurement today. Now, immediately, you'll get a nice clean answer on your phone that says parts per million of ginger or Scoville heat unit of chili, depending on what type of sample you've actually got. And that gives you a sort of certain speed and certainty. What I mean by speed and certainty is, A, you get the result there and then, and the certainty is because actually you did the result. It's not like it's gone, people really believe these certificates of analysis that come in from, HPLC laboratories. But there is a lot of belief in these certificates, but actually the samples that you have, especially today I'm talking about chili powders, are what we call very heterogeneous. They are not the same pungency or hotness throughout the entire sample. So you have to actually sample several times. So you get a certain speed and you get an ease of use. It's really quite quick. Come to the live webinar to see that. You also get a certainty that you can see the custodianship of it. You take the sample, you make the sample, you prepare the sample, you test the sample, you get the result. That is certainty. It's not I send the sample out, I get a certificate back, and yeah, sure, it's true. Well, is it? How do you know? So it does give you certainty. Now you'll see something today that the certainty also comes from, and I also call it transparency. We also get the raw signal as well. I'm not trying to make you all scientists. Some of you will be food scientists and food technologists. I'm not. Some of you will just be business owners or are business owners, but I'm not trying to make you necessarily scientists. But I do want to say that we do actually save all the raw data, so it gives a good transparency, and that raw data actually all gets saved to the cloud. And you can also, some people have, larger suppliers or larger manufacturers also have LIMS systems or information management systems that we can also plug into using what's called API, Application Program Interface. So we do support clients, we do personal online training. Everyone who gets one of these little meters gets the online training. What I am starting to find is that I used to think the training was important, but now because the manual is so it's thin for a reason. The reason it's thin is because I actually think this new FoodSense Generation 4 is actually quite a simple little device. I know that's a little bit bleached, but little pictures of what's going on. You know, it's not heavy text. It's actually just mostly, this is where you get the QR codes from, or rather the app from. Lots of photographs and guidance. You know, so I would not describe this as heavy text. I would describe this as quite light. By the time we try and give online training, most people are already up and running. So we do have a nice little manual. The manual reflects the ease of use, but we will get online with you. We do these weekly webinars. I will go through some data this week. And we also do monthly webinars. So I should create webinar and demo. So 27th of March, come to the webinar and demo. I think you'll find it quite interesting. If it's another month, don't worry. Use the link and you'll find out that we've, if it's April, May, June, don't worry about it. July, August, September, October, November, December, we do it every month. Now what happens is we have these samples. The samples get prepared. They go on the sensor. The sensor, you'll immediately get a result on your phone. So I can see here Scoville heat units, 55,679. And as I say, the data actually goes to the cloud. And you don't have to be interpreting data. You don't. But it's nice because if you've ever got any problems, I'm not looking at a number. I'm looking at a number and the raw signal. So I'm sorry, but that really gives us a very deep insight into what is going on. And you can never have this insight by, what other ways are there for detecting the pungency of ginger or the spiciness of, the hotness of chilies. The other ways are high performance liquid chromatography, which is probably done outside and done by a third party. You've got very little vision on what's actually happening there. Or you're tasting it, that's organoleptic testing, and it's just pure subjectiveness. There's no objectivity in that. Very hard to run a quality management system when you're or quality control when you're using taste as the outgoing material and confirmation or analysis. So what we've done is we've got clients all around the world. This particular client has a Teja Chilli Powder. They've been testing it. I got them to do multiple tests because I know the sample is I definitely know. Every chili powder is heterogeneous. Homogeneous just means, it doesn't matter where you sample from, it's all going to give you the same hotness. But a chili powder is not that. You've got hot spots and low spots within that of capsaicin. So we got them to do 3 tests. We looked at the average, which we're interested in, which was 83,000 Scoville heat units. We also look at the relative standard deviation. Relative standard deviation sort of asks us what's the kind of range of values in this. So that I would sort of say that this is the score for this powder, this Teja powder, is 83,000 plus or minus 15%. And what does that mean? Well, if you actually look up this powder online, people's advertise that it's actually between 60 to 110,000. So we're right within that range. And the nice thing then is that all the data went to the cloud. So if the person asks me, can you confirm that this is working correctly? I can say I can, because they can share their data with me. I can go up there, I can say, and I can actually see the raw signal. I can see, whoops-a-daisy. I can see the result that they got, 73,000, and I can also see the raw signal that gave them the result. So you understand that it's not just a number. There's actually the scientific data behind that. The same, they had one that was like 97,000. Whoops-a-daisy, I want to go up slightly, and I can see the raw data behind that. And they had a third result, which was 78,000, close, pretty close to 80,000. And again, we can see the raw signal behind that. So speed and certainty. Speed because it's quick for them to do. Certainty because they're the ones who prepared everything, got the result. And then there's a transparency element where actually they can see these raw signals and I can see these raw signals if they choose to share it with me. That's a really important point. If they choose to share it with us, we can also confirm it as well. And then we can sort of say, yeah, it looks, it's all working fine. They had a green chili powder. They tested it 3 times. They got an average of 76,000 and a relative standard deviation or range of 8%. That's very good. I mean, the smaller this range, so essentially the more precision that we have. All the results went to the cloud. So I can look at this sort of 79,000 results and I can see the raw signal. I can see the peak. I'm happy with that. Look at their 79,000. So they got 2 that came in at 79,000. You can see the raw signal, see the peak, and say, yeah, I'm happy with that. You can see that we're basically just doing, a sort of quality confirmation for these guys. You know, and this is 62,000, it's a little bit less, but I can see that in the raw signal as well. And you know, in the context of, we got 279,000 and 62,000, the relative standard deviation, the relative standard deviation was about 8% for this. So it was really quite low. So if you want to see this guy in action, then we are doing a webinar on the 27th of March, one in the morning, one in the afternoon. The one in the morning works really well for people in the sort of Asia. A lot of people come in from India, and the one in the and that also works well for people in Europe. And then the one in the afternoon works particularly well for people in North, Central, and South America. So if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to us. Any links you've seen pop up in this webinar, I'll put them underneath the YouTube video. And I think that's basically it. So thank you very much. Take care.